Right, people. So, first of all, welcome. This is going to be the first lesson inside Ad Operator, and probably the best place for me to start here is literally just telling you a bit of an overview of everything that you're going to learn, who you're going to be working for, and what you're actually going to be doing on the day to day as an ad operator. So, let's just get stuck in. So, the best way to think of what this is going to teach you is a creative strategist who actually drives revenue. So an ad operator is basically the person who's going to come into an e-commerce brand and take over the whole entire creative strategy. And they're going to build a scalable advertising system that works specifically on cold traffic. You're basically making ads for e-commerce brands. That's all it is. And you're not just making pretty ads that look nice. You're creating direct response ads and funnels that's going to help someone, a brand, scale into cold traffic with paid advertising. So what are you actually going to be doing on the day-to-day? So a massive part of this is researching markets, competitors, customer avatars, developing new angles and concepts, writing static ad copy. You'll also be briefing designers or maybe even just creating ads yourself with AI, writing VSL scripts, writing UGC scripts. Also, you'll be briefing editors and creators for this. Possibly writing landing pages as well, advertorials, listicles, PDP copy or sales copy. Now this part, this is like an extra, you may never do this. The most important thing for most brands is getting more creatives to test on ads, and that's exactly what the meat of this will be about. So like it says here, you'll also probably need to brief designers, brief video editors, and manage their entire creative production pipeline. Now, this sounds more complicated than it actually is. Basically, all you're doing is writing ad scripts and getting them edited for the brand. That's all it is. Obviously, there's more in that. You need to do extensive research, but that's essentially all this is. It's just making ads, and it's basically direct response copywriting in its purest form. You're writing ads. Now, there's two ways to work as an ad operator, and both are super lucrative and they both pay super well. The first one, which is actually the one that I would recommend most people do, is in-house. You become a brand's internal creative director or creative strategist. Now, there's some teams that have got multiple creative strategists. You're probably not going to be the creative director straight away, but you're embedded in their team. You only work for that brand. You understand them and you understand their full creative strategy, and you are essentially an employee. Now, there's going to be some people that's like, oh, I don't want to be an employee. It sounds a lot worse than it is. Most creative strategists that work inside a brand, if it's a decent brand, and you're not going to want to work in-house with a shit brand, but if it's a really good brand, you're going to be getting paid no less than like 5k a month. And some of them have rev shares, some of them even have equity in the brands. Super amazing because you get to learn from them, and you're basically working inside a brand that's possibly even spending millions on Meta or just advertising in general, and you'll also get a lot of help. Now, fractional or agency, so this is like you work with multiple brands and you're going to bring your approach and you basically give them deliverables. Now, this is actually the way that I do it right now, but that's because I'm working on my own brand. So I can't work in-house in someone else's brand if I'm working on my own brand. So right now I've got 4 clients, and the way that I work with them is some of them have got different deliverables from the others, but for example, one of them, I give them 25 ad concepts per month. So for that, what I need to do is I need to write 25 ad scripts. Each of them has 3 to 5 variations, which is normally just different hooks. And for each of those, I need to provide a brief to the editor. And now it's their in-house editor. So I just tell their editor how I want it done. I've got a good relationship with them now, and we work on Slack. And I basically just give them the brief and the script. They give it back to me. I double check it, and then we're good to go. Then I hand that off to the that brand. Then I've got another brand where we do 15 scripts, and I also give them, I think it's like 30 or 40 static ads. And those static ads I just create on Nano Banana myself. I've also got a designer as well that does some of them. And basically, each of these brands has different deliverables that I give them. So I'm not working in-house, but I am their only creative person. They don't have any other creative people. They basically use me as like a one-man agency. And with AI, you can actually deliver relatively easy doing it this way. So both paths pay well. It's just up to you which one you choose. If you're a complete beginner, you're probably better just trying to get in-house with a decent brand and learning from them. You'll get a solid salary and you'll get a ton of experience and feedback on your copy. Now, the problem that you're solving here, most e-commerce brands are terrible at creative. They hire designers to make something that looks professional or looks pretty. They're running image ads with just product shots and a little headline, and they're wondering why their cost per acquisition is sky high and they can't scale on ads. They're like, oh, Facebook doesn't work for us. It's because they don't understand direct response, and they think Facebook advertising is just about brand awareness and getting engagement, and they still think things like targeting makes a difference. Targeting does not make a difference. All you're doing is putting ads into a CBO and letting the creative do the job. It's all down to creative. And they're burning thousands on ads, and they're maybe even lose money, or they're breaking even, or making a little bit. And then you come in as their in-house creative strategist, or you give them deliverables. And if you can come in, you know the creative strategy, you know direct response principles, and you know funnel economics, you can go in and get a brand that's struggling to spend 2k a day profitably and get them up to spending 10k a day profitably. Most of these brands have money to spend, they just don't know how to spend it properly. Now, why the brands need you? Most marketing agencies still are focusing on media buying. They're going to optimize campaigns and audiences all day long, but the creative sucks. And the creative is the biggest bottleneck because most brands don't have enough creatives to actually test. And who you're competing against is either these shit ads who are focusing on media buying, which makes fucking no difference in 2025, or two, you're competing with big expensive agencies. Now, a lot of these big expensive agencies, don't get me wrong, some of them are really good, but a lot of them are just giving them shit UGC that just looks good, or shit statics that just look good. What you're going to say is, you're going to come in and say, look, some of this stuff isn't going to look pretty, but it's going to allow you to scale on cold traffic. And that's what's actually going to put the money in the bag for them. So this is exactly what you're going to be doing. And the skills that you're going to learn here is psychology over design, direct response fundamentals, how to think in like funnel economics. You're going to learn how to interpret all the data, and also a little bit of team management. In team management, you're not going to be managing a huge team. You're basically just like telling a designer what you want done, or telling an editor what you want done. So it's not about being creative in the artistic sense. It's just about being strategic with the creative that drives measurable results. All you're doing is basically looking at ads that are working and creating ads similar to those ones that are working maybe as a competitor or in a different niche, and bringing that over to the brand that you're working with. That's all it is. You're basically just making ads for brands. It's as simple as that. So that is what an ad operator is, and don't worry, I'm going to show you a ton of examples, but that's it for this lesson. I will see you guys in the next one.